My name is Cynthia Sparring, and I'm with Career Services of Brockville. We are a nonprofit organization, and we help individuals who have barriers to employment, and we help them find employment. The various services we do offer are job assessment, assessments in general. We offer job coaching, and we offer help in finding and maintaining employment. Today you'll be observing a simulation exercise which takes various pieces of equipment and two local people who are well known in Brockville, who live, work, and are part of a variety of organizations that serve the community. And they will be donning this equipment, and what this equipment does, it simulates various disabilities, from visual impairment to hearing impairment, weights on arms and legs, which will partly they help with, as they do the task in the workshop, they're energy draining, and they'll also have gloves on which affect their tactile, and they will have a wing on their elbow which affects mobility, so their range of motion is limited. They will proceed to put the equipment on, and then they will go about some daily tasks that they do in just general accessing services in the community, and also they'll be doing some tasks that they would be doing on their jobs. And through this exercise, they will educate themselves and the viewing audience in terms of how it is to have a disability, but also be able to function, but just with some adaptations. When they first put the equipment on, the first bit of the exercise is, of course, them just climatizing themselves to not being able to see as well or hear as well. But as they proceed through the exercises, they do make their adaptations that shows them that they can still do their activities that they're doing or skills that they need for their job, but that it's accessibility issues that may face them and attitudes of people who they run into during their day when they're doing different things throughout the day. And it's an excellent learning experience. It just helps them understand folks who have varying degrees of ability when they're in their homes or familiar environments, that they have, that they're able to adapt. This is when they go into the community to access goods, services, or work in the community is where issues start to arise. And we would like to make Brockville a universally accessible community so that all members can participate, go out in the community, enjoy events, and find employment, and make this an excellent community to live in.
Well, of course, you're inside of the RE/MAX office, which is a real estate office, so it's an office that's very busy. We do everything from paperwork to meeting clients to taking telephone conversations. We work on the computers, all sorts of aspects of day-to-day routines in real estate. So now, are you mostly at your desk, or would you say your physical activity with this job, would it be in and out? Yes. So there's certainly a good percentage that is at the desk, working with the computers and on the phones, but we are in and out. So during the day, you know, I could be in and out of the office 6, 8 times a day. I'm assuming that a portion of your clients that you either sell their homes or they're buying are of an older population? Definitely. Okay. In Brockville, of course, you know, the greatest percentage of our population are retirement age. Okay. And also, have you worked with people who've come in, sold their homes or buying who have had a disability? Yes. So they usually bring in a daughter, son, or someone that they trust. Right. That they would be seated with us, and we would do the transaction via one of their helpers. So you have a little experience, you know, working with the older population, so you know some of the issues. And of course, as we all age, all of us are affected some way with the aging process, some more than others, but you know, something that either in your interaction each day with people or just in tasks that you do, people might need reading glasses at a fairly young age, or I mean, we actually start losing our hearing after the age of 25. So
So some of these things you'll be a little bit familiar with. But can you tell me, I've explained to you, what we're going to do. Can you maybe tell me what you're kind of anticipating is going to happen?
Well, I believe that I'm going to be faced with some handicaps. So once you place the apparatus, I'm going to be hindered in my day-to-day activities, which real estate in itself can be very stressful. So that's going to be adding stress to doing my work, functioning in the workplace. I'm sure that it will create a difficulty.
So what you're going to do is you're just going to take either end and you're going to twist it. So it's quite fine like that. Then you put it in your ear and it will expand.
Okay.
Those nails. So, and you need it on your dominant arm, so you're right-handed?
Yes.
Does that feel tight enough? Like you want to be able to, move a bit, but...
Yeah, so it restricts me.
Yeah, somewhat. It shouldn't feel too heavy. It's just as you, progress with writing and that sort of thing, kind of going to have to keep it up. A lot of women carry that purse on their arm, and that way they're holding their hand, so it's just... So is that okay? And your bracelet's fine?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is tunnel vision, which can happen with strokes. So you just come and it's just like a small, you can see in the center you have no peripheral vision. And then cataract developments are the little dots that kind of form, so it's kind of like floating dots in the, I think we're going to put the tunnel vision on you, because strokes, of course, are fairly, so you're just going to... Good?
Well, not really. Certainly it is tunnel vision.
And a lot of people with Down syndrome, different disabilities, they do have tactile limitation. There's a lot of syndromes that when they go to, which affects your manual dexterity.
Well, this certainly does affect my sight and the ability to even work with my hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because right off the bat, the first thing and it's just a simple clothing item that you're putting on, as opposed to, totally dressing yourselves.
My email is opened, and I see an email. Difficult thing is to connect the mouse.
Yes, your tactile will be.
Cynthia, just leaving you a message. It's Janet Eaton. If you could return my call, don't hang up. It takes me a while to get to my phone. Thank you. Bye. Yes, it was very limiting, very frustrating, very scary. It certainly, being the middle of May, you're not thinking about your footing as much as if it was in the wintertime when you're moving about. So I can hardly even imagine going out in the winter and having the type of disabilities that I'm portraying today. You're constantly aware of everything, so it's intense. It's humbling, and it makes you very sensitive to your surroundings, very sensitive to other people. You're even wondering if those other people are feeling sorry for you. How are they looking at you when you're going about your day-to-day tasks?
And that has huge implications about how that you're going to deal with the public and how that you feel about yourself. I can imagine that it would be very depressing to be having any form of disability at any time. I'm really thankful that I don't feel that I have any. So I'm aware of every piece of equipment that I had on and the limitations that it posed to me today. And I can say that I'm very thankful to have the health that I have. And it also makes me think about those people that I meet on a day-to-day basis and how inhibiting it must be for them. So I guess that comes back to that humbling, and how do I want to interact with the public, you know, the public. And as we stated at the very beginning, if you think that 60% of the population in Brockville is retirement age, and so what percentage of the people have these type of handicaps? And what are we doing for those people? Are we meeting their needs? I mean, is this mall, this shopping center, does it meet the needs? I could probably comment on a few of the lacks that I felt. You know, I've certainly with this being new, if people were comfortable every day coming to the shopping center, they would know their footing. They know the steps, the height of the steps, but I found that limiting today. I certainly was aware of that yellow, and it's important that it be in all steps, so that's, you know, I'm zoning in on some things. And if I had to go back through my list, I probably could write comments on each and every one of those tasks today and how limiting. And I can understand why people would want to just stay at home and become recluses. You know, it's probably a lot to deal with. Going to the bank, if I had to open my purse up, if I had to actually go in for a card, signing pieces of paper, we didn't get into that, but it all takes time.
Can you see what the special is for today?
The special for today is frozen Atlantic salmon, $11.50 per pound.
And how can you read that pretty good? Is the coloring they've used, the contrast?
Yes, actually, yes, yeah. I can read that. Their phone number at the bottom is well done.
So that's good information next time you're in here to give them, to say you did an exercise where you were visually impaired and that their signage is very good.
My sight, you know, we all have experienced aches and pains in our body, so we're used to that. Of course, the heft on the one arm, and not even knowing my purse was there, but it was my sight, you know, and with tunnel vision, it is tunnel. You can see, you can read. We didn't put on the goggles for the macular degenerative, and having to look at the periphery of things, that would be another huge challenge. But sight, so you know, you can't even imagine having to live in a world where things are dark, because now these lights are bright. It's beautiful. I'm very aware of my surroundings. It was very difficult to have those goggles on, and it was so limiting. Everything was dark. I think, of course, if I was to do my day-to-day activities and had a visual impairment, I would have to realign all of my equipment to facilitate, you know, for that impairment. So that was limiting. I couldn't carry on my tasks at all, you know, with the type of phone system that I have there, the type of screen, the type of computer. That was very limiting. The one thing, of course, it is about light. Mm-hmm. I noticed that, even pouring my own coffee. Mm-hmm. It's important to know that the coffee's hot or cold, because all of that, even on a coffee maker, you're even looking at small little things. And the light when you're pouring it, you know, I couldn't see whether the cup was full or not, so I had to go over into a better light. It is the small things that you never even think about on your own day-to-day tasks, but those little small items become very frustrating. The one thing that I did that stood out overall was the length of time that it took me to go from one place to another. And I do believe it's because, you know, my hearing was impaired, I was limited, I had to use a cane for my footing because of my eyesight, the heft on my right arm, you know, that slowed me down. And if I was to go into something new, that would even be impossible. I do know this, shopping centers, so that assisted me. But it was the length of time that I had to do my activity, and it made me feel really aged. So if I did, you know, if I was my age with any of those limitations, it would be difficult. But you are right, I would want my independence. And I think that this has let me see how much we need to assist people who have handicaps. And we shouldn't have limitations for those people in places of work, places where they want to go out and enjoy in restaurants or shopping or whatever. They want those activities. And so that has helped me to see what we can better do to help people to be independent. The one thing we never want to take is think that people are always, even though they are very careful when they're doing something new, they don't want to be seen as not understanding. So it is, you know, if we need to be there, we need to read through documents very carefully where people, if they can't see, if they're having trouble hearing, that definitely they would be enlarged, you know. For anyone that has, you know, if you can't hear it, you'd want to be able to read it. And if they have both of those situations occurring, that's very difficult to work with. So we'd have to make compensations.
Being a city councilor here in Brockville is a part-time position, so most of us hold down other jobs. Some of us are independent business people, and then they have their own companies that take up more of the full-time day-to-day activities. Others have established themselves in different roles. Myself, being a young person, I'm a little less established. Right now I'm working as an executive assistant to another businessman here in town. I host concerts and I'm on a number of different boards and such. And other than that, as a city councilor, we're public servants. We meet anywhere between 2 and 5 and 6 times a month. Really depends on what's going on and what issues need to be tackled and in what timely manner. And we set bylaws, and we try our best to represent the city as best we can and take it in the different directions it needs to go, whether it be fiscally or other.
Okay, so today what we're going to be doing in this exercise is, it's called a simulation exercise, and you'll be putting on various pieces of equipment to simulate various disabilities that people in this community may have. And so I was just wondering, in any of the different organizations that you work with, or in your job, or as a counselor, if you've come in touch with people with disabilities, and if you've had any part of making decisions and helping with services or goods in this community.
My role as a counselor in terms of dealing with for instance, the Brockville Municipal Accessibility Advisory Committee has been very limited because I'm still a new counselor. But I have worked with a number of the committee members in other different boards and committees I've worked on. Aside from that, I'm a vice chair to a social housing group here in town, and we have to make sure that so many of our units are friendly or accessibility friendly at all times. And of course, with the AODA stipulations coming in, we're going to be obviously over the next little while looking at all of our different infrastructure here in town and making sure that it's up to standards and that we're trained and designated to be able to handle those situations. So my experience has been limited to this point. I did have some experience at the Canadian Mental Health Association working with youth, but and you know, in the school setting, you know, going through high school and college and such with the student union, but it's I would say it's very limited up to this point. So I'm really eager and kind of excited to learn a lot more about what it is that some people have to go through.
Okay, can you tell me, after how I explained what will be happening during the exercise, what your expectations are that you'll come away from it with?
I'm just hoping to understand, because I know, like, a lot of us have a tendency to complain every day about our lives, and I know I'm one of those people. You know, my stomach hurts, I'm tired, I don't want to be here, whatever the case. I mean, the everyday complaints, which we're all so lucky to have, I guess. I'm kind of excited would be the wrong word, but definitely curious to see what it is that some people have to deal with every single day, which I'm sure must be above and beyond what I've had to up to this point. So hopefully it'll enlighten me.
So these are just little industrial strength hearing plugs. I'm just going to twist it up nice and fine, and then you're going to take it and then just place it in your ear and it will expand. Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is your dominant arm,
yes.
right? So we're just gonna push it down and going to go right over it. Okay,
sure.
There. So go to bend, and you can't bend fully, right? So you can still bend. Mm-hmm. Again, a lot of what is not meant to make you totally deaf or totally that you can't move a limb.
I'm sorry.
Just impedes it somewhat because
okay.
you can still hear a little, right? Mm-hmm. Not overly heavy, right?
No, but it's noticeable.
Yes, and what will happen is the longer you have it on, the more you'll notice. So what happens with someone who is dealing with an issue, what will happen is they will start out the day fully rested and feeling fine, and then as they proceed with the different tasks that they have to deal with, they start to get a little more tired and a little more tired. So it's part of an energy draining piece, the weights, okay? Okay, how does that feel? It's comfortable?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm okay.
This is to limit your tactile. So some disabilities, again, people don't have, with stroke, arthritic, some intellectual disabilities, their tactile's a little bit limited. So fine motor skills come a little bit harder. And we put 2 pairs on.
Really? 2 pairs?
Yes. Just to make it a little more challenging.